Time to do some surgery on my polar bear. This plant is getting out of hand. It's starting to tip over. It's getting kind of heavy. And also, I feel like the bottom is not that healthy. I have had this plant for a very long time. I want to say several months. It started out very small. I think it was about this small. And had it in a different location for a while. It was actually next to the window, and I thought it was getting bright indirect sunlight, but the leaves started to turn green. So I put it in front of my grow light, and then the white fuzziness started to come back. So I want to have a second chance with this plant. I'm going to propagate it, and I'm going to do an experiment. And I am a little bit sad to do that because I love how long it's getting and I want to see it trail. But I just feel like the bottom part is not really very healthy looking. And I want to have a second chance with this plant and see if I can do better with it. So what I'm going to do is put propagations in different stations with different substrates. So I've got these little tiny terracotta pots. One of them I've got perlite. I also have cactus and succulent soil in this pot. I have pon in here. And then I have a mix of perlite and tree fern fiber in here. My bear paws were in here, but most of them didn't make it. So I moved the last one to another pot. I'll show it to you in a second. Hey, I just wanted to pop on really quick to let you know that I have a community highlight at the end of this video. If you don't yet know about my community, it is absolutely free to join. Many of you have already joined and we are having so much fun in there talking about our plants and sharing our planting moments. I love seeing all of your beautiful plants with the new blooms and new leaves unfurling. Some of our members have hundreds of plants and lots of experience growing plants. So if you are a new plant parent, you are very welcome to join us and get inspired by the photos and get tips and tricks on how to take care of your plants. You can just do a search for Cozy Plants on School and you will find us. We're going to be doing a live plant chore session together, and we're also going to be doing our second giveaway. It is a private community, so I'm not just letting anyone in. I just ask that you answer a few questions. They are easy and just be honest. I want to make sure that the group stays fun and positive. I will be closing the doors when we start our giveaway, so if you're thinking about joining us, do it now so you don't miss out on the fun. I will reopen the doors after the giveaway is open, so if you catch this video a little late, go ahead and make the request to join and I will let you in on the day that we reopen. On with the plant chores, I hope you enjoy it. So here is an update on my bear's paw. I've got this one last piece left, but there is a tiny new leaf growing right there. Can you see it? It is so cute. So I had to move this around. So my bear's paws started shriveling up one by one. I decided to try putting it into my cabinet to see what would happen in there, but they kept shriveling up. So I decided to change them out of the substrate that it was in and I put it in pon. Actually, I think it's just pumice. And it seems to be doing okay so far. So I will keep you guys updated and hopefully that little tiny bud is gonna grow larger and larger and then the whole thing will turn into its own plant. I know for sure it has not rooted yet. So even though it is growing that tiny leaf, when I changed it out, it was not too long ago, maybe about a week ago, there was absolutely no roots. But on to the next project, and I want to experiment with using terracotta also versus like plastic. So it's not going to be like a totally even experiment, but I just want to see what happens. And I actually might put more than one propagation in this plastic one since it's a little bit larger. So each of these tiny ones, I'll just put one propagation. And I do know that this plant is actually very toxic, so I'm going to wear gloves while I cut this up. And of course, I will show you a super close-up. Alrighty, so I guess I'll start with this one first. So I'll go ahead and cut all the way down as far as I can. So there's one propagation. And I am going to let this scab over a little bit. Next up, I think I will cut these two right here. I'll take this one first and cut all the way down. So this one's going to be smaller. I'll put this in the terracotta. And here's the other one. So cute. I need another small one. So I think I'll take this one. Actually, there's another stem down here. Maybe I could do that one. Okay, I'll take this one. Here's another little one. I think I might put this in terracotta. I think I might have to repot the entire plant because I think this pot is too big. I got this plant very early on in my plant journey, and I didn't know yet back then about like not giving the plants too big of a pot. So I might have to just pull this out and plop it into a smaller pot that I need to look for. But I'll go ahead and make a few more cuts. I have 3 small ones now for the terracotta and then 2 bigger ones for the plastic. Maybe I'll find one more. Let's see. I had not realized that there were so many stems growing off of here. I'm so proud of this plant. I just feel bad that this is happening. So actually, I found another small one. And now I have 3 that are kind of like equal with each other that I can put into the terracotta. And then have 3 bigger ones that I can put into the plastic. So I'm gonna let these scab over for a little bit and then I'll pot them up. So I found a couple of pots. I have this one, which is a little bit smaller than this, but bigger than this. And then I found this, which I think is about equal. What are these? These are like 2.5-inch pots. This one is probably 4, yes, 4-inch. I think this is 6. So unfortunately, I lost my ripple peperomia. It's so sad. We had a long journey together, but in the end, it just didn't work out between us. So this will be another plant that I never bring back into my collection. I tried my hardest, but farewell. So at this point, I don't know which size I'm going to use yet because I want to pull it out and just see how big the root system is. And I'm not doing that in my bedroom. I'm going to take this outside and see what's up. It's so funny to me that this looks like the exact same shape as the original pot that it came out of. So here's the 2.5-inch pot. I think this is a 3-inch pot. And for sure, I think the 4-inch pot is too big. All cleaned up. All right, so it looks like the smallest pot is the best. Yeah, it fits right in. There we go. Pull off the dead leaves. Wow, those just snapped off. So I made an interesting observation. When I took the soil out of the pot that I had my ripple peperomia in, I noticed that the soil had become compacted towards the bottom. So that might explain why the plant suffered from root rot. And so that soil I had taken like straight from the soil bag that I got from the nursery because back then I didn't know about all the different mixes and making chunky mixes and like all of the aeration, roots needing oxygen. I did not have any clue back then that all that was going on with my plants. So, my bad. But the polar bear fit right in to this little 2.5-inch pot perfectly. And it's still a little top heavy. And I tried to pack it in as much as I could so that it will keep its position in the pot. I'm wondering if I'm gonna have to like brace it up when it starts to grow out a little bit more. We'll see, I guess, when it gets to that point. I might be able to make a trellis for it. I have like the little wire ones. Or maybe I could give it a little stake. But I'll put this back into its original home. It seems to be happy there next to the grow light behind me. The new white fuzz that's coming out towards the top, it's gotten because of the grow light. So I want to keep its babies nearby, right there in front of the grow light also. And hopefully these will turn into luscious plants. And then this one, I mean, it looks kind of scraggly and sad, but I still love it. I might just continue to like propagate from this plant. And I certainly don't need too many multiples of this one, but I could probably just sell them on Facebook Marketplace or something. Another observation that I had made is the white pot, the 6-inch pot that this was in. The soil was extremely dry around the roots, but still wet around the outside of the pot. So I don't think that that was serving the plant. The root system had not grown out to fill in the pot. So that definitely was too big for this plant. And I'm going to keep it in this tiny little pot, this 2.5-inch pot, until I see roots come out at the bottom, if that ever happens. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can find something else I can do while I'm waiting for these to scab up. I do have a lot of projects I need to take care of, but I am feeling much better about this. And I should probably give it some water. All right, so I found a more appropriately sized watering dish for this guy. And I am going to start doing bottom water from now on. So I'll just fill in the bottom of this cache. And I do believe this water is fertilized. I did read online that you can give this plant the same fertilizer that you give the rest of your plants. So this is Dr. Q's that you're supposed to give once a month. And I know for sure I have not fertilized this plant this month or last. So I'll just let it sit in there like that and soak up the water, and then I'll dump out the rest after like half an hour or so. The sun is starting to set right now. All right, this pot wants to float up. The soil was completely dry around the roots. I hope that the roots are not suffering from dry rot. If I see that the plant starts to decline, like from the roots, like up the stem, I'll take more clippings and do more propagations, but hopefully it's good. Okay, it's finally starting to soak up the water, so now I can leave it. And I think what I'm gonna do right now is repot my Neon Pothos propagations for my daughter and put it in a hanging planter for her, because she loves hanging plants with the really long trailing vines. She has one already, the mother plant, and it is humongous, but she wants another one. So I propagated her Neon Pothos, and now I'm gonna make a little baby one for her. Okay, so this is my newest propagation, and I think it's been at least 2 weeks. I've had it in soaking wet mix. So I'm gonna try to get it out and put these two plants together. Oh wow, it's new growth. This one is in self-watering. Oh, the roots are coming out. So I do want to keep this as self-watering, so I'll keep this wick in. Actually, I just noticed this water smells pretty bad. So, no self-watering. Wow, that is a lot of roots. Look at that. I'm just gonna mash them all together. Okay, that water was really stinky. And I guess I didn't learn my lesson from the mushroom situation I had when I had a mushroom growing out the bottom of one of my self-watering pots. I didn't put holes, like aeration holes, into the bottom cache, the cup that the other pot was in. And I think I pretty much almost grew a mushroom in that one too. But I've decided not to do self-watering with this. I could have, but I just didn't feel like it. So I just cut up a little watering dish for this guy, and there is air going in there for sure. So I'm gonna get the hanging thingy. This is what she wanted it to hang on, so let me see if I can just get it in here. I might need help with this. It's all twisted up. This is like a really cheap one. I think it was like a couple of dollars, but she really liked it. So let's see if I can get the pot in here for her. If I can't do it myself, I'm gonna have to ask her for help. All right, so I've made an opening. And let's see if I can get this in here without pulling the plants out. I think what I'm gonna have to do on my next watering with this is put some hydrogen peroxide in the water, just in case there's any like fungus in here because of the self-watering setup. So there are 4 strands. Gosh, they sure did not make this easy. Okay, something's not right here. I need help. All right, we got it in. So it's not the prettiest looking pot, but I'm hoping that the foliage will grow out and cover that up. But I think it looks pretty cute. What do you guys think? I am really happy with how that went. I think it looks so cute. I've got it hanging up in a place temporarily right now. Oh, so cute. So I have decided to go ahead and give my polar bear a trellis because it's leaning over a lot. And I'm afraid it's gonna fall out or like break its roots or something. So let me just get this situated. And then I think the little guys, they look like they're pretty much scabbed over good enough. It hasn't been that long, but they're starting to turn black already. I need a new glove. These are all wet. Okay, so this hopefully will be good enough. It's just a little wire that I bent. I got this from Walmart in the package. It's so cheap. So I just let it set up against it. It's always tricky. All right, I think that's gonna help. That's pretty good. And the water I can see has not soaked up all the way to the surface of the soil. I'll just let it sit a little bit longer while I pot up these other little babies. So I've got my pokey thing, and let me give you guys a close-up so you can watch. The first one I'll do is the pawn, and I'll just pick this guy. Let's see if I can get a hole. It needs to go with the plastic. Actually, I'll just dump it out. Put a little bit at the bottom. Just have to fill in around it. How cute is that? Next, I'll do the perlite. And this guy's gonna go in here. Cuteness. Last up is the cactus and succulent soil. So definitely I can poke a hole with this. Okay, so this one goes in here. Let's see. There. These little guys look so cute. So I'm gonna put these next to my grow light back here, and I should probably water these. The pond already has water, so I'll just leave that as is. I'm just gonna fill in a little bit more. These are so cute. I read online that you're supposed to keep it really wet until they grow water roots, but I don't know if that's true or not. The perlite is super dry, so I definitely need to give this one water, and I should probably keep that in a cache of water. So now I need to pot up the last three. So this is my perlite and tree fern fiber mix, which is probably not going to be great. I don't think these fuzzy succulents like tree fern fiber. I had my bear's paw in this, and I think because it was touching the tree fern fiber, like the fuzzies, I don't know, something about it, like it, I don't think it likes it at all. It might be too much moisture. So I'm gonna take some of the tree fern fiber out because it's mostly at the top, and then I'll fill in with the rest of this perlite. I wish I had more pond. I've completely run out, and I don't get all of my ingredients until tomorrow. I hope, if it's not late again. So yeah, there's a lot of tree fern fiber in there. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure that this will grow out more, and if these don't make it, I'll cut some more. And I am just experimenting anyways, so let me just get these three guys in this one little pot. This one is much shorter. I'll put these ones in first. Okay, and the baby one right there. Oops, I totally ran out. I don't think I have any clean perlite lying around anywhere right now. Okay, let me see if I can grab some pieces from here. All right, I'm just gonna fill in as much of this leftover stuff as I can on the top. And I think I have a little bit of pond left over. I should use that. All right, I got myself a watering tray for all of these. I'll just put them all in the same tray because I don't have lots of mini ones. And these definitely need to be watered. So I'll just do a top watering right now. This thing's pretty handy. All right, we'll see if these guys root. In the last episode, I had done propagations of my ruby cascade. So let me just show you what they look like right now. I think it's been about a week. So I've got them in the container right next to my grow light. And let me just open it up and give you a close-up. So I've been opening and closing the lid, like just leaving it open like a crack, because I think these plants don't like to have their leaves wet too much. So like the condensation that is on the leaves, I think causes it to rot. Like there's some black leaves in there that have rotted. So I feel like it needs more air and not as much humidity. I feel like I do see some new growth, but I don't see any roots yet. But they might be inside the pumice and I just can't see them yet maybe. I'm going to show you my other propagation station here also, where I put my Scindapsus, and there is a root. So that's working for this, and I have kept this closed. It has been almost 100% humidity, but I noticed that there was a lot of water on the leaf. So I just opened it up a little bit so it could dry off, and I don't want it to rot, but it seems to be doing pretty good in here. And all the other propagations I had done are still alive, thankfully. I don't see roots yet, but the leaves are still alive. Sorry for the blurriness. And actually, I do see one thick root right there, and I do believe that that is the Scindapsus. Ready for the community highlights? So I've got a set of photos here from a couple of our members. Another member of the community had called them out and wanted to give them a Green Thumb Award, and I absolutely agreed. Everyone in the group has absolutely beautiful plants, but these two members have been picked out for their recent photos. So the first photo I have here is an Alocasia chantrari, and this is part of Al's collection. I'm actually very envious that she's got a pink one here, so I'm throwing this on my wish list. She's got a lot of very interesting and unique plants that are so luscious. She also shared a photo of her pinks that are flowering for her for the first time, and these are so cute. Definitely another wish list plant of mine. And then we have Paul's Syngonium albo. I think Syngoniums might be up there with the pothos on like ease of care. And the fact that this one has the milky white color, I'm so in love with this. So definitely another wish list plant for me. But this photo lineup is not just about wish list plants. This next one here is very odd. Paul has called this an eggplant, and I'm very curious to see what this is going to grow into. He also shared his Monstera Flame with us, which is a new plant for him. And I am actually being influenced by my members in the community because this is also now a wish list plant, which is very, very high up on the list. So thank you, Elle, and thank you, Paul, for allowing me to share these photos. And congratulations on receiving your Green Thumb Award. I hope you all enjoyed it. All right, so I'm going to end this video here. I do have a lot of other plant chores that I need to get done, but it's getting dark and I should probably eat some dinner and get ready for bed. But thank you for watching, and I hope all of your plant chores are going well. So I'll see you guys next time. Enjoy your plants.